Before I design any logos, I do this. And it's probably the most important step in getting the client to say yes at the end. In this video, I'm going to show you how a mood board for a logo design and a full brand identity project, so you can stop guessing and start designing with a proper purpose towards your client's goals. A mood board is to align everyone on a visual vibe, I hate that word, direction and style. So when we create a mood board, we normally do it on an open canvas. You can use Figma, Milanote, Adobe Illustrator, Affinity Designer, Canva, anything that has basically an infinite whiteboard space that you can put images and text into. That's what a mood boarding platform looks like. Some of the key purposes behind creating a mood board are to create a visual direction. You can align with the client vision. It's a source of inspiration. It gives you style, consistency, and faster approval later. And I'm going to explain how. The client I'm working with at the minute is called Open Magic, and they are a creative platform that videographers can use to add CGI elements into their designs or into the videos through AI. They have templates where you can upload your designs, you can upload text, you can upload anything, and it will add them into videos using AI. But they don't want to be AI focused. That is just the plumbing. So my job is to design a brand identity for these guys. So before creating a mood board, I always like to meet with the team and do a sprint with them. And I have this handy dandy little personality slider here. And we actually write down competitor names and Open Magic's names. What this does is it allows me to see where they believe their personality is in their brand. So for instance, whether the brand is more elite or mass appeal, more serious or more playful. It isn't the most scientific way of doing this. However, the cool thing about creating sort of a slider gives you an idea of what the client is looking for. And it also gets you talking with them, because as a brand identity designer, we actually have stakes in this. We want to make sure that we're giving them the right brand image and personality. So we work with them on this basis here. The first thing I do in a mood board is not get any images in, but start mind mapping. Down here, I've actually used some keywords, and I write down my keywords for Open Magic, and that is what starts off the whole process. So here we have bold and striking, playful yet professional, tactile and layered, and where light meets dark. These are some of the most inspiring words that I got. If we keep going down here, we have magical, futuristic, empowering, creative, accessible, human-centric, and we have some more core brand themes. Now these words mean a lot to anyone who creates a logo or brand, because they inspire us, and they inspire us how to find images. And that is the next part of this, which is to find images that kind of give that same feeling of those keywords and put them onto the mood board. Let's start off with magical. Now, obviously in your mood boards, you can take any images from anywhere. And I take images from Unsplash, Google Images, and I just copy them and paste them into little boards into FigJam. I really love to use FigJam because you can segment them off. Here I've got images that relate to kind of magic, whimsical, landscaped, kind of different. And with these images here, you can see there's some crazy AI images in there. You've got this guy just reaching up to the stars, and you've got this guy in awe of the sky around him. And this all brings a feeling of like wonder, and that's what I wanted to get in there. So I've added these to my board to try and signify the feelings of wonder. If we go down here, another key word was energy. I wrote energy up here in a little section, and I found images that kind of give this idea of energy. And this is what I found. These crazy cool abstract artworks. Found them over on Unsplash and Cosmos. And again, the main thing is these are just here to inspire us, to guide us. And from you seeing this, you should feel a bit of an alignment to where we're going already. So we have these nice warm tones. We have some very abstract shapes, cool gradients. You see that the colors here are kind of like this purple, teal, and yellow and orange. So we're starting to get this feeling here as we go. Now, if I move over to this part here, I just added a section called artistic and gradients. And this here is because I was really inspired by the look of all of this work here that I saw, apart from this one, which I'm going to delete right now because that one doesn't fit. We're starting to see a pattern of like these crazy abstract, I don't know, weird 3D blobs that we're seeing everywhere. And I know they're quite cliche, but it's mainly for the color and the fact that it's 3D. One thing that I found during the client process was that the actual logo itself needs to be able to move in a 3D space. So it has to work well for AR, VR, so augmented reality, virtual reality. It has to work well in 2D, and it has to animate as well. So I'm looking for inspiration that provides movement or suggests movement throughout. Now, as you go along with your mood board, you start to realize you need to get some more inspiration for different things. Like, for instance, they wanted it to be playful yet professional. So I went ahead and found some playful inspiration here, which I got here. And again, there's some amazing artist work out there that I've just put into my mood board as a source of inspiration. So for instance, the play and work, we've got some bright colors here. We've got this kind of modern Bauhaus type of design going on here. It looks like kind of what Figma use, but it shows the professionalism, the color, the friendly natured, but also it's very playful as well. This NASA logo I was really inspired by because although if you look at the actual NASA logo now, it looks completely different to this. This has kind of made it chunky, more cute, but yet it's still quite professional. And I really liked how they created this with a more vivid blue, more saturated colors. Now, as a graphic designer, I have to constantly be learning new things, whether that is learning how to use Framer, learning how to be a bit more productive and manage my clients, whether that's just learning a new skill like nice textures in Illustrator. But if you're someone like me, then Skillshare is the place for you to learn all of these amazing new skills. Skillshare is an online learning community taught by industry professionals. They create classes, some of them are short, some of them are a bit longer, where you can learn skills all the way from creating logos, designing websites, even textures for logos. I love to watch Aaron Draplin's Skillshare classes because he teaches not just about iconography, but he teaches how to design logo types. He teaches how to create textures for logo types and how to ideate. His process is just amazing. Another class I've been loving is Ali Abdal's productivity classes. So if you're wanting to learn anything to increase your skills in graphic design, then Skillshare is the place for you to go to learn that. I even have my own Skillshare original class on there, which is all about designing iconic logos and how you can ideate them really easily. A lot of us struggle to come up with ideas for logos. I show you how to do that in the online class. And the best part about it is if you click the link in the description, 500 of you will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium where you can actually watch as many as you like during that trial. So thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Make sure to click the link and support the channel. Now, essentially what you've seen me do there is take all the keywords that I found at the start of the project and find the images that work with them. What that does is it aligns my brain, or like in a radio, we're tuning in to a certain frequency of style. And the great thing about doing that, it allows us to further refine where our connections are in our brain for the project. And by that, I mean mind mapping. Now, you can use Figma for this as well. You can use MindNode. There are so many mind mapping options out there for you to use. I just use FigJam here. Now, once you've found that you've got a lot of images and you've found a lot of inspiration, I think it's really important to put names or words to those as well, especially before you meet with the client. And this is what I did. I created a mind map to explain my thoughts, to explain my connections. So I've chosen 4 main feelings and moods that we want to get across with the brand identity, which is bold, want it to be striking, want it to feel magical and approachable. And within all of these are sub points that connect to each other. So if it's approachable, we want the designs to feel friendly, but also professional. And even here, we could say trustworthy. That's another one. So trustworthy. In magical, we've got playful design. We've got a bit artistic, energy and power. Here I could add aura. You can create a child within there saying energy waves We can keep writing words in here that will further help us explain and get across what we're trying to do. In striking, I've written down, we want it to create a lasting impression. So we don't want it to be the same. We want it to be different from other brands. In bold, we thought about bright colors, bold, impactful design choices as well within striking. We want it to leave a sense of wonder and curiosity with the viewer and to evoke strong sense of emotions or memories. So we want it to have a bit of nostalgia in there. Now, the great thing about doing this is it means that when we're stuck for finding new inspiration, then we can actually go back and find more imagery. So for instance, we've got energy waves. Let's go to Unsplash and find some energy waves. We should have a lot of inspiration here. Now, I love this energy wave here. It's not the right color, but I'm just going to copy this image and we're going to create a new section called waves. I'm just going to add that image in here, because it could have a feeling towards it. We've got another one here, which is quite artistic. And we just keep adding to these. What about teal and orange? I found that a lot of the work in here is teal and orange, and I love this picture here. That's a perfect color combination for this too. This is kind of pretentious, but we're going to get it in there anyway. Now, you're probably thinking, well, these are just like random images. Well, if you're looking at them one by one, then yes. But if you look at them all together, they all have patterns. Now, once I've gathered all these images, I'm not just going to show the client this board here. This is a big mess right now. It is just a working area. What I normally do is I go into something like Affinity Publisher, you can use InDesign, Illustrator, whatever, and we create an actual presentation of the mood board that we can go through the client with. And that's what we did. We actually went through the client with this. And I started off with the energy, and we show the different images as we go down this PDF here. And as we go, you can see it's all nicely gridded out. And within each section here, we're actually getting feelings, emotions, colors together. And this is what we use to align ourselves. Now, what a mood board aims to do is to help restrict where you go. So for instance, now, if I started creating typography that wasn't in the same feeling, so if I, for instance, used Comic Sans for something, let's try that. It wouldn't feel right. It wouldn't feel like it's in the same league. It's just not visually there. And that's what the mood board does, is it helps you understand and helps everyone have a vision and alignment on illustration styles, on creative concepts, how the typography will look, the UI elements. It helps everyone gain an understanding. And the reason why it's so important to do is because if you don't do a mood board and if you just give them a logo of some sort, then what ends up happening is they have no visual alignment. So they haven't agreed on an alignment yet, and they will probably say no to your design because you haven't walked them through, you haven't collaborated with your client all the way through. So here's some big mistakes that I see a lot of people do within their mood boards. Number one, they create a board that's far too overwhelming. Once you've got enough images, go into another design software, like I've done here in Affinity Publisher, and take the best ones out and grid it up nicely. Organize it so you can present it to a client. Even if you don't plan on presenting it, do that because it stops the overwhelming feeling of in here. This places your brain on paper, or on the computer in this case. We need to organize that and bring it in. So don't overwhelm the board. Mistake number two, keep it focused on the brand personality, not just cool designs. If you look at the brand personality board here, Open Magic is a bit more rebellious. So we're not going to go for a type style right now that is too normal. We're going to go for one that's a bit slightly different, one that looks rebellious. So we're focused on that keyword. If you look at over here, the visual styles and the core themes, we'll see that we've got this futuristic and empowering mood and feeling. We can see all the way throughout this, there's lots of bright colors, lots of modern elements in here. And you can see here, even empowering with the fist up. Everything in the mood board has something to do with the personality. And mistake number three, do not copy your mood board. The mood board is for inspiration, not duplication. If you're actually creating a mood board and then saying, oh, I really love this part of it here. I love how this looks and feels. I'm just going to copy that straight into the design. Then that is not mood boarding. That is just stealing. Don't do that. It's designed to inspire. It's not designed to be looking at one image too quickly or too hard. It's designed to look at them all in totality and getting a feeling out of it. Okay, some tips for you if you're creating a mood board. Don't create too many conflicting styles. Obviously, in a mood board, you're going to have conflicting styles, such as, you've got these crazy artistic posters with very playful design. That is very conflicting. Even here, we've got some bold and striking designs here that I found online. They are conflicting in certain ways. One of them is very flat with a condensed typeface. One of them is very Scandinavian, very nicely laid out. But there's not too many of them, and that's where we are trying to find that sweet spot. The second tip, make sure the mood board aligns with the strategy. The strategy is how we're going to get to where we are for the brand. You should always meet with your client before you do a mood board to get some ideas of the way the brand feels, whether it's a personality, whether it's the strategy. For Open Magic, it's been really important that they stand out from a normal AI company. Every AI platform, like OpenAI, all these other competitors, they have a certain feeling in their brand. They are an AI company, right? Open Magic don't want to be like that. They want to be a content creation service. They want to help people create 3D CGI elements, but AI is just the plumbing in the ground for that. That's just the way that they do it. But they don't want to come across as this trendy AI service like OpenAI and all these other ones. So we need to make sure that we align that with the mood board. So mood boarding seems quite simple, but it's actually one of the most powerful tools that you can use as a designer. So if you're wondering how we mood board, this is my process unfiltered, the real life process that you're seeing here of what we go through in a mood board. And if you want to watch any more videos about this specific project, then press that subscribe button, because I'm going to walk you through this entire brand identity project with me and my team, how we're going to brand them. We're even going to show some of the calls that we have with the client. So stick around if you want to learn more about that. Let me know down below what you learned from this video. See you soon.